Hello and welcome to another BWhack review. Today we're going all the way back to the beginning of the NASCAR Cup Series with Red Byron's 1949 Oldsmobile. This is part of the NASCAR Classics line, as you can see. As always, take a look at the box. Got an actual old school box sleeve and everything. You got a nice big picture of just the diecast, 1949 number 22 Oldsmobile, Red Byron, NASCAR Classics. Down the side, you have a little bit of a biography on Red Byron, if you want to read that. Another photo of the diecast. Made a total of 646 of these things. It's funny that they still do call this the Action Platinum Series. On the back, you got Park's Novelty Machine Company. You've got some of the stats of his very first NASCAR championship, which he was the very first NASCAR champion. You see, he had only 6 starts with 2 wins. Obviously, back then it was a little bit shorter, and they were just getting, the series going, so it wasn't as organized as it ended up being later. Even just a few seasons later, you ended up having 50, 60 races a year that were technically part of the series. But anyways, you got NASCAR Classics on this side of the box, and you, of course, have your copyright and such on the bottom of the box. Here is the car itself. This does come with a little stat card, which is basically the exact same stats used right on the box for his championship season in 1949. But man, this is definitely a unique car for any collection right here. This is actually one of 2 different Red Byron cars they've released over the years. Both on the same mold, but back in 1998, as part of that Napa NASCAR 50th anniversary collection, they released this car for Red Byron, but it was a red version of this car. And then this one is, of course, the black version of the car. I've always questioned if the red version actually ran or not. Or did somebody just hear Red Byron and think their car was red? Because all the photos from back then are in black and white. So we don't know if he ever actually ran a red car. I don't know. But I do have the red version of this car too, because it is another cool car. Like I said, these are very unique cars. They definitely stand out in any collection to have one of the very original NASCAR Cup Series cars right here. And can Lionel go back to releasing cool stuff like this, please? The NASCAR Classics line has just been turned into just the occasional Hendrick car that's missing 90% of the decals, usually a Gordon Rainbow car that looks not that great. Can we just go back to releasing really cool classics? You clearly still have these molds, because I think this was back in 13 or 14 when this car got released. Somewhere around there, if I remember correctly. But I imagine you still have the mold. I imagine you didn't just pull this mold out from the 90s, use it once, and then lose it. So can we just get some more? I don't even know who else you would release on this mold, but can we get some cool actual classics in the NASCAR Classics line again? Instead of just a bunch of 90s Gordon cars. Anyways, let's do a quick 360 of the car. This thing looks fantastic. It's got all the nice chrome pieces, the chrome bumpers, the chrome taillights, the chrome, hitch for the trunk, the hood. It's even got hood ornaments. This is a very nicely detailed car right here. Like I said, it definitely is cool just to have a diecast of the very original NASCAR champion when NASCAR first started. I said you can see it's got all the headlights. So this is a very highly detailed car. The top is diecast, the bottom is plastic, but still, like I said, I've never been a person that has cared about the chassis being plastic. Some people have just hated it forever. It's this is nicely detailed and this looks perfectly fine in a display case on a shelf, so I don't care. Whatever, anyways. Let's get down to sponsors. Obviously, back then, this wasn't exactly a car covered in sponsors. You can see you do have a little 22 at the front of the hood there. Down the side, you have another 22. You've got Park's Novelty Machine Company from Atlanta, Georgia. That is basically it for the sponsors. You see you have Red Byron's name on the name rail right there. You see the detail in the interior as well. Back when they were actually stock cars, you can see you just have regular dashboard, regular steering wheel. You have the cranks for the windows and everything. On the back, you again just have a number 22. This is number 499. And you, of course, have the same stuff down the other side. Take a look under the hood. You can see you have some nice detail right there. Nice period accurate engine in there. The deck lid also does open, where you got your old school fuel cell back there. Obviously, this is, a good 50 years before they decided to run roof flaps. or window nets or anything else. Like I said, this is back when they were legitimately stock cars. Like, there is no question. This was a stock car. This is exactly what you would get on the street that somebody just, changed a few things on and raced. Got the old school tires right there with the lug nuts and everything else. And there's the inner side of the car if you want to see that. I love those thin old school tires right there. Just a really cool car. Like I said, this is definitely very unique for any collection. If you want this car, it's actually decently rare. This version of it is hard to get. But the red Napa version that I talked about earlier, that one is pretty easy to get. You can usually get that one for about like 30, 40 bucks. So if you want, you can get that one. Like I said, I've definitely always been curious if that red one ever actually ran like that, because anytime we have like a current, like modern day, like the red Byron car in the Hall of Fame or something, it's black like this. Like, I've never seen a red one. So I don't know if that's just, they just guessed that it was red because his name's Red Byron or what. But someday I might review that one. I do have that one too. They do make a really cool set to have two different Red Byron diecast on this really old school body right here. So remember, for other diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com, and if you use the code BWhack, you get $5 off shipping on any order over $30. So go check it out if you want anything. But I think it's all there is to say. This has been a review of Red Byron's 1949 Oldsmobile from the NASCAR Classics line. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.